Hey, welcome to DollarZen Insights. Look, if your credit score isn't perfect, I've got some really good news for you. You absolutely do not need great credit to start building some serious wealth. In this explainer, we're going to forget about credit scores for a bit and focus on something way more powerful, turning the savings you already have into real, hands-off passive income.
So, let me ask you, does a low credit score ever make you feel like you're just stuck on the sidelines financially? You know, maybe you've been turned down for loans, or you're just sick and tired of that number holding you back. Well, the solution we're talking about today has nothing to do with borrowing. It's all about what you own. We're going to show you how to turn your savings, doesn't matter if it's $1,000 or $50,000, into money that actually works for you, 24/7.
All right, you really need to pay attention to this because this is a big one. Right now, with inflation floating around 3%, if your money is just sitting in a regular old savings account, it's actually losing its buying power, day by day. You're literally getting poorer just by doing nothing. We're going to put a stop to that starting right now.
So here's the roadmap for today. It's super straightforward. First, we'll nail down what passive income really is. Then, we'll walk through the absolute safest places to start, move into some strategies for growth, and even touch on how to get a piece of the real estate pie. By the time we're done, you're going to have a crystal clear action plan.
All right, first up, what is passive income? And honestly, why should you even care? Well, with the cost of everything going up, having an income stream that doesn't require you to constantly trade your time for it, that's the key. It's how you create some breathing room and eventually total financial freedom.
So let's get this straight. Passive income is basically money you earn with minimal ongoing effort. Now, it's not a get-rich-quick with no effort kind of thing. You do have to make an initial investment of your money, but once you set it up, it just keeps on working for you. Think about getting paid interest or dividends or rent, and trust me, it's way more accessible than you might think.
And this right here, this is the big mindset shift. On one side, you've got your active income. That's trading your effort for money, right? Your 9-to-5 job. On the other side, you have passive income. This is where your money starts making more money. And the best part? Your credit score is a total non-issue here. It just doesn't matter. This is all about the assets you own.
Okay, let's get into our very first strategy. We're going to start with the absolute foundation, the safest and simplest way to begin your passive income journey, high-yield savings accounts and CDs. Seriously, this is the perfect starting point for anyone.
And this chart just shows you how huge the difference is. Your typical savings account at a big bank, you're lucky to get maybe 0.4% APY. But a high-yield savings account, we'll call them HYSAs, from an online bank, we're talking 4, even 5% right now. That is literally more than 10 times the earnings on the exact same pile of cash.
Okay, let's put some real numbers to that. If you drop $10,000 into a high-yield savings account that's paying 4.5%, that's an extra $450 in your pocket at the end of the year. For doing nothing. It's completely hands-off income. And, super important, this money is FDIC insured, which means it's protected by the federal government up to $250,000. So it's safe and it's effective. And just to give you some real-world examples, here are a few of the top players in the game right now. You've got banks like Varo, SoFi, Viobank, Ally. You'll notice a theme here. They're mostly online banks. And that's because they don't have all the costs of running physical branches, so they pass those savings on to you with much better rates. You can usually open an account in just a few minutes, right from your phone. Now, what if you have some cash that you know for sure you won't need to touch for a little while, say 6 months or a year or even longer? That's where you might want to look at a certificate of deposit, or a CD. Basically, you're agreeing to lock up your money for a specific amount of time, and in return, the bank almost always gives you an even better interest rate than an HYSA. A really smart strategy people use is called a CD ladder, where you buy CDs with different maturity dates, so you always have some cash freeing up every few months. All right, so once you've got that safe foundation built, it's time to level up. Let's talk about dividend stocks and ETFs. These things are awesome because they offer a powerful 1-2 punch. You get paid regular income, plus your original investment has the potential to grow over the long haul.
Okay, the key word here is diversification. Instead of trying to be a stock market genius and pick an individual winning companies, which is really hard, you can just buy an exchange-traded fund or an ETF. Just think of it like a basket that holds a whole bunch of different high-quality dividend-paying companies all at once. This table shows some of the most popular and time-tested options out there, like Schwab's SCHD or Vanguard's VYM. You can buy these easily through pretty much any brokerage account.
So what does that look like in terms of income? Well, let's say you invest $20,000 into a dividend ETF that yields 4%. That could generate around $800 a year in passive income, and it's usually paid out to you every quarter. And here's the pro tip. When you're starting out, you can set it to automatically reinvest those dividends. That means they buy you more shares, which then pay you more dividends, and that, my friends, is the magic of compounding.
You know, a lot of people dream about making money from real estate, but then they think about the massive down payments, the mortgages, the tenants, and it just seems like a huge headache. Well, this next strategy is the perfect solution. It's called a real estate investment trust, or a REIT.
So a REIT is basically a company that owns and operates properties that make money. We're talking about all kinds of stuff. Big shopping malls, office buildings, apartment complexes, even those giant data centers that power the internet. And here's the cool part. By law, REITs have to pay out at least 90% of their profits back to their shareholders. And that's why they often have such high dividend yields. So let's run the numbers on this. A $15,000 investment in a REIT that's yielding 5% could bring in around $750 in passive income for the year. The best part? You get all the benefits of being invested in the real estate market, but you can buy and sell your shares just as easily as you would with any other stock. No calls about a leaky faucet in the middle of the night.
Okay, we've covered the 3 main building blocks. Now, let's pull it all together into a simple, straightforward action plan. Because the key to all of this is balance. You don't want to put all your eggs in one basket.
So a really solid, balanced approach might look something like this. You'd start with a strong safety net, maybe 40 to 50% of your portfolio in those safe spots like HYSAs and CDs. This is your emergency cash, your sleep well at night money. Then you'd add your growth engine, say 30 to 40% in dividend ETFs for that long-term growth. And finally, you'd sprinkle in about 10 to 20% into REITs for extra diversification and income. See, it's a nice blend of safety, growth, and income.
So what do you do right now? Here are your first steps. Step 1. Build that safety net. Open and fund a high-yield savings account. That's job number 1. Step 2. Start your growth engine. Begin investing, even if it's just a little bit, into a good, diversified dividend ETF. Step 3. Diversify your income stream by adding some REITs into the mix. And the final, super important step, number 4. Review and rebalance your plan at least once a year to make sure it's still working for you. Oh, and one last tip. Remember that dividends are usually taxable. So if you can, think about holding these investments inside a Roth IRA. That lets all your growth and income happen completely tax-free. It's a game changer.
This content is for educational purposes only and should not be considered financial advice. Investing involves risk and returns are not guaranteed. Always do your own research or consult a licensed financial advisor before making any investment decisions. Rates and market conditions may change.
And there you have it, 3 real practical ways to make your savings work so much harder for you, and none of them care about your credit score. You know, the most important part is just getting started, taking that first step. So I'm really curious. I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment down below and let us know how much are you starting with on your passive income journey. And of these 3 options we talked about today, which one gets you the most excited? Is it the simple, safe power of a high-yield savings account, the long-term growth potential of dividend ETFs, or getting a piece of the real estate market with REITs? Let me know which one you're leaning towards in the comments.
Hey, if you got some value out of this, do me a huge favor and hit that like button, and make sure you're subscribed to DollarZen Insights for more explainers just like this one. Thanks so much for watching. Now go make your savings work for you.